today for a free estimate. 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planner Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planners and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planner Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back with another edition of Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, joined by the head coach of the Stars, Rocky Russo, as we talk about the hottest team in the USHL and the best team right now, record-wise, in the Lincoln Stars. Winners of 11 in a row. They swept both games against Omaha last weekend, including in front of a packed Icebox last Friday. And, Rocky, we need the support just as strong, if not even better, this Friday when Sioux Falls comes to town, because we've got a heck of a matchup coming up this Friday at 7:05 at the Icebox. Lincoln, as we mentioned, top record in the USHL, taking on the team chasing them in the standings, the Sioux Falls Stampede, who are just 4 points back. This is going to be a heck of a weekend of hockey.
It's a huge matchup, Joel, and you know, if you're a fan of Lincoln Stars hockey, if you're just a fan of sports, athletics, Lincoln athletics, there's no place to be besides the Icebox on Friday night. It's going to be an unbelievable, epic matchup between a really good club out of Sioux Falls that's playing really good hockey right now, and obviously our hometown Stars here. So we're looking forward to it. We love the crowd last week. Obviously, sellout crowd in the Icebox is what this is meant to be here in Lincoln with the Stars franchise. But you know, we'd love to be able to start doing that outside of the times that we're playing Omaha. And listen, I know the Omaha fans travel well,
absolutely,
and they bring a nice contingent of fans. I think we traveled better there on Saturday. I think it was about 2/3 Stars fans. And
Section 111 was all black and blue.
It was about 2/3 Stars fans. After the fight, when Griffin threw his hands up, it was just as loud as if we were at home. Yeah. And that was very telling as to how many of our fans made the trip to Ralston Arena to watch us play on Saturday night.
It felt like we were back at the Icebox for a moment when Griffin dropped the gloves, gets to the end of the fight, skates up to center ice, encourages the crowd, putting his hands up in the air, and got me for a moment hearing all the cheers. I'm like, wait a second, we're on the road.
It got really loud. And when it got really loud, I couldn't help but giggle, because I'm like, if you're an Omaha fan, you're not cheering for that.
Nope.
He just sucker punched your guy in the face, and now he's getting the crowd going.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a pretty unique situation, obviously, and something that the guys really enjoyed.
We should mention, and we've got a potential surprise texter who might be joining us here. But if you want to get your questions in, text them in 402-464-5685. Glenn Hefferon, the commissioner of the USHL, asked earlier if he could get his question.
Ah, jeez.
Glenn, if you're listening, we want to hear your questions.
I'm sure Glenn's busy doing something more important than talking to us on the radio show. You know what I would like?
What's that?
I would like for some fans to call in. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Back in the day when we were at the old studio on 48th there, and it was Cristiano and I, we used to get a few callers into the show every week, and they've kind of transitioned to those text messages, which is probably easier, but I love to be able to interact with our fans, as everybody knows. I love to be able to have those communications and conversations and back and forth. So if you're interested, call, text. Let's talk Lincoln Stars hockey.
Yeah, either way, don't be shy. And we'll talk Stars. We'll talk whatever. Ohio State football is a popular topic.
In case you guys don't know, the Ohio State Buckeyes are the 2024 national champions, just so everybody's aware. In fact, I might request of DP to put a Buckeye helmet in here, at least during the outside the box. But I can do that because everybody knows that I'm a Husker fan as long as they're not playing the Buckeyes, right? I've claimed that, and I'm proud of that. I'm excited for Coach Rule and what's coming with that program, as long as they're not playing the Buckeyes.
That's fair enough. Number again, 402-464-5685. And right on cue, Harrison, our producer, letting us know we do have a caller.
Yeah, we do got a caller. Keep in mind, I don't got somebody screening these right now. So be quick with it. We'll go ahead and bring you on. This is Outside the Box. We got head coach Rocky Russo, broadcaster Joel Norman. You're on air. What do you got for us?
Hey, Coach. It's Jimmy Jursev here. Just wanted to let you know we'll be back looking for some revenge in the Natty. You guys got us this year, but
for anybody that's not aware, first of all, hi, Jimmy, my friend. How are you? Jimmy scored his first college goal a couple weeks ago. He is he's a freshman at the University of Notre Dame, which is why he's a little salty right now. But that's totally awesome. Great year for Notre Dame football, Jimmy. You guys should be proud. And your head coach is a Buckeye alum, so I'll give you a little bit of some grace there. But Jimmy, how is the season going with all the other former Lincoln Stars there with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
It's been fun to reconnect with those guys, but obviously things haven't been going our way. We're playing good hockey, but we'll be back at it soon. We're going to Penn State this weekend, play Keats, so hopefully turn it around this weekend against Keats.
I was talking to former Stars assistant George Lewis, who's the director of hockey operations there at Penn State, and he was excited to see Mastro and Nelly and those guys. He coached them. He didn't get a chance to coach Larry or Coach Brennan or Coach Jimmy, so that'll be cool. But obviously Jimmy and Keaton Peters played together. There's a lot of crossover with those two rosters that they've either played with each other, against each other here in the USHL. Yeah. So that should be a great weekend. Obviously, Happy Valley and Pagula Arena is a pretty cool place to play too, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. But we wanted to know, we're studying right now. We wanted to know what the message has been to the boys here on this heater.
You know what the message is, Jimmy. It's all about our process. It's all about our identity. Right? We haven't talked about this streak that everybody else seems to keep bringing up has not been the topic of conversation in our locker room, because streaks end and they start again, and our focus is on doing things the right way, and as long as we lean into our identity and we compete, we generally get the results we're looking for.
Love it. All right, Coach, I need to get back to studying.
Good luck, Jimmy. Get good grades, kid.
Well, that's exciting. Former Stars captain Jimmy Jursev joining us online. If he can call in, you can. 402-464-5685. And Jimmy, if you're still listening, send us a picture of you with some of those former Stars guys who are on Penn State, and you send that to us this week.
Listen, if he's helping Mastro study or he's helping Larrigan study, I hope he's digging in with those guys. They're good hockey players, but I don't know how committed they are to school.
You're going to Notre Dame.
I'm teasing, by the way, for the record. I'm completely teasing.
Absolutely. You're going to Notre Dame. You've got to be trying pretty hard there.
No, they're great kids. They're all the guys that are at Notre Dame, man, top to bottom. They're aces people. They're really great players. They're great students. It was our pleasure to be able to have all of them here in Lincoln, and I still get to chat with them on occasion. A text here or there. Really proud of everybody. Brennan's been great. Mastro's really stepped out of the shadows a little bit. Last year he had a great year, but he didn't produce as much. He's been really eating minutes. I think he got hurt a couple weeks ago, but Nelly's been in the lineup regularly. Larry's gotten some regular opportunities. So just really proud of all those guys.
Talented guys that come out of Notre Dame too. So even if it is a tough season, they're going to produce NHL level players.
No question about it.
Like we said, love to have you also joining us here on the line, whether it's via phone call or a text, 402-464-5685. Let's talk about the winning streak. This is the place to talk about it, Rocky. This is the place to do it. 11 in a row for the Stars. 5 away from matching the franchise record, for those who are curious. But like you said, that's something that it's fun for people like me. It's fun for fans. It's fun for media. But as a team, it's not something that you're thinking about. In fact, in your locker room, you guys have that list of goals for the season. You don't have on there, set the new franchise win streak. You have win a Clark Cup and plenty of other things.
Yeah, and listen, if I don't acknowledge it, then I'm kind of being a hypocrite, because I talk to the guys all the time about being where their feet are, enjoying the moment, make memories. These are memories that we're making as a team, and no matter when that streak ends, we all know it's going to end. We're not going to go undefeated the rest of the year. We made a memory. We've won 11 games in a row. I know we lost about a month ago, and that was in overtime. I think our last regulation loss was to Tri-City, perhaps. That was a bad weekend. And I still have the note on my desk where I said, hey, we started the year 9-2. Now we're 19-11. And I said, this is average. And I said, we have 31 games left at the time. And I said, average isn't going to be good enough for us to reach the goals that we want to reach. And we have not lost a game since then. And it wasn't because of that little speech. It was because the guys committed themselves to doing something special. And, we've won a lot of games in a lot of different ways in that time frame. And, the biggest thing is we've kept the gratitude. We've stayed humble. We've stayed grounded. We recognize that every night is a challenge. And, we know how good our opponent is this weekend. We don't take them for granted. They've got a lot of talented players on that team. And so we know to get points out of this weekend, it's going to take everything we have. And so we're ready for that. And we're looking forward to that challenge.
Adding another nice story to this matchup with Sioux Falls, the fact that we made a trade with them not that long ago, getting Hunter Anderson. And that has been a huge pickup for the Lincoln Stars. I would imagine he's going to be fired up this weekend.
Yeah, of course. Listen, sometimes players don't fit in certain situations. It doesn't mean that they're bad players. It doesn't mean that, you've been fleeced if the kid goes and does a great job somewhere else. It's just sometimes a player needs a change of scenery in order to be as good as they're capable of. And Hunter fits in really well here. And he's a really nice kid. The first thing we talked about was fire trucks. And his dad's a fireman in LA, going through everything that's going on out there. But, he told me that he was a big fire truck fan when he was a kid. I showed him the truck we rode in on in Youngstown. I obviously told him my background when it comes to the fire department with my family. And I just realized really quickly that he's a good kid. And he's assimilated himself to our room very, very well. He's immersed himself in our culture very well. And obviously he's been a great player on the ice, but you need to be more than that if you're going to be a successful player in this organization. And he's been able to do that.
He was a guy acquired right before this winning streak started. And it's fun to say it. He has not lost yet in a Lincoln Stars uniform.
And eventually that'll happen too. I just want to say that I just got a text from Michael Mastrodomenico.
Okay.
And he said, I'm an academic weapon. What are you talking about?
Wow. Ask him what his major is.
He said, I've also learned how to throw a football, because I used to make fun of him for throwing a football.
Go to a school like Notre Dame. You better be.
He's actually an incredible athlete. I just like to bust his chops all the time. He's one of those guys that I had a really good relationship with, and you can kind of chirp back and forth. So I'm not sure. He's probably majoring in PE or something, I assume. I'm sure Mastro's listening. They're getting a good giggle out of that right now. So I'll text you back after the show, Michael.
Yeah. Love to get more texts here on the line, 402-464-5685. Harrison, we have a couple right now?
No, nothing yet. So
right
402-464-5685.
Before we continue, we should mention we've had 2 games on the air with 93.7 The Ticket so far. For those of you who haven't noticed, we have select games the rest of the way that are going to be here on The Ticket. That includes this Friday. So if you can't make it to this game, and if you're in Lincoln, no excuse. But if you're in Lincoln, be at the game Friday. But if you can't, you can tune into it right here on 93.7 The Ticket. however you're tuning in, whether 93.7 FM or on the ticketfm.com. And Rocky, it's fun to be on the radio. Just from my perspective, that's something I've been really familiar with. It was almost weird when I came to the Stars not being on the radio, but it's fun to do that. And I'm sure you've gotten feedback from people like I have, but it's a cool thing to have this partnership grow even further.
Yeah, when I was in Amarillo, we were regularly on the radio, and so when I got here and it was a little bit of a shock. Obviously, the advancement in the ways you can watch the games now has been great, and Mixler has been great, but I think catering to our fans that for one reason or another can't make it to the game on a Friday night is another great opportunity. I also think this station is so popular, and there's people listening all day long. They hear our commercials as they're listening to the other shows on the station throughout the course of the day. But they flip it on and they're in the car and they're like, "What is this?
Exactly.
Man, this sounds awesome."
Exactly.
How have I not been getting out to Stars games? And DP and I did some promos last week, and we're pros. It only took one take for us, but I thought they were great, and DP's just, can't find a better guy, man. Like, he's so passionate about Lincoln athletics, about this community, about the university. There's no other person in this community I'd rather have on our side than him, and he's been a wonderful support for me personally and for the organization. And I think we're just we're going to continue to build on this partnership. And it started, like I said, in the old station, and we've grown our audience, we've grown our footprint. Now we're on the radio with them, and we're going to continue to do some more things that I think are just going to expand our ability to create brand awareness in the community, while also helping the ticket continue to grow, which is obviously everybody's goal as well.
Fun to see both teams grow. Like you said, it's not just one side it's benefiting. We're really hoping that it continues to benefit both sides. So again, though, hope you can tune in to Friday's game right here on 93.7 The Ticket if you can't make it out to the Icebox for the 7:05 matchup. Just the second time this season we're going to see Sioux Falls. We've talked about the schedule plenty of times. We last saw them October 5th. So it's hard to really take anything from before at all, because you look back at that game, John Hirschfeld had the game-winning goal for the Stars. It's been a little while since he's been with us, since he went back to play high school hockey. So in a lot of ways, I would imagine you're dumping out everything from the past and focusing on right now, which is two red-hot teams getting set to collide this weekend.
Yeah, that was a good rebound goal, if I recall.
It
It was a loose puck that he was able to corral and put it up under the bar for the winner there. So I think Johnny's had about 60 points now in high school since he's been gone. So it's been a while, but no, you can't take a whole lot from that. We were a different club. They were a different club. 40 plus games later, it's a different scenario, but you certainly can watch video, and we've done a lot of that, and our staff's all hands on deck in preparation for the weekend, and our players are loose, confident, but humble, and they know that they've got a big challenge ahead. So it should be fun. It should be fun. We'll have a great crowd here on Friday, and I'm sure, as they always do in Sioux Falls, they'll have a great crowd there on Saturday. They had 11,500 on Saturday night for their big promotional night with the Wiener Dogs, and but even when they don't do stuff like that, I've played in there with 10,000 plus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty awesome crowd, and should be exciting.
What'd you think of that goalie fight from last Saturday in Sioux Falls between them and Fargo?
First thing I thought is that kid should be suspended for the next 2 games.
They got like a USHL official there.
Well, I was thinking we were playing them this weekend.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to be in the net.
That's right.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful for the fans, and I do think it's part of the game in the right circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you should be disrespectful when you go about it, but I've been in a game when there's been a goalie fight during a sellout in Amarillo, and it was a pretty unique, very, very fun situation. And going into that, like, all right, I'm getting suspended for a couple games. It's just part of the deal. But that made its rounds around the internet, and Spit and Chicklets and all those guys had it up. So I think long term, it was probably a pretty cool experience for everybody that was involved.
A few more eyeballs on the USHL. Not a bad thing at all there. And like you said, in front of the packed house, certainly putting on a show. Well, one thing to know about this Lincoln Stars team, besides this 11-game winning streak, is that they're going to score goals. Entering this weekend, leading the USHL with 188 goals. And Rocky, it seems like a recent trend. There's only been one game of this 11-game winning streak, I believe, which we haven't scored at least 5 goals. I was looking it up earlier. So it's kind of crazy. Scored 5 or more goals in a game 20 times this season. It's the 9th time in franchise history at least hitting 20 goals in a season. The record's 27. We got 20 games to go. Would not surprise me if that number is blown out of the water.
You know, I would like to think so, but I'm certainly not going to count on it. You know, I've seen ebbs and flows, and I think if you look at the last couple games we lost 2-1 and we lost 3-2, if I'm correct. And so, you know, it's one of those things where we've been able to put a lot of pucks in the net. We've been scoring early in most games and generating a lot of momentum, and we didn't score quite as early last Saturday, but it's been kind of a theme where we've been able to jump on teams early and pop one, and that kind of gets the bench going. But you can't rely on that. That's not necessarily playoff hockey, and I don't know how many teams you see scoring 5 or 6 a night in the playoffs. So you know, we're happy that we're doing it. It's nice to be able to rely on, but we have to be able to find other ways to win games, which we have obviously throughout the course this year. But you know, the best part is we've been scoring a lot, obviously, but it's not always coming from the power play. We're getting a lot of 5-on-5 goals. We've gotten a lot of pucks going in the net off line rushes that maybe we hadn't been doing early on in the year. Our extended offensive zone possession has gotten better. Our transition has gotten better, and we're not a finished product. You know, we've got 20 more games before the playoffs to get better, and the guys are pretty hungry on a daily basis to try to improve and try to push the envelope and see how good we can really get.
You and I have talked about how the power play, you can't rely on it being an opportunistic thing. But this team, it seems like whether it's the right power play at the right time in the game or just too many power plays given up over a game, this team usually pounces if it gets those.
Well, it's because you can, you know, you put your best killers out against one of the units thinking, okay, if you can get through the first minute with their top power play, you should be okay. Well, then, oh, by the way, Picard and Malte are coming out, or, oh, by the way, Schlane and Anderson are coming out. Like, we are really deep. We are really deep. That's just the reality of it. Like, you've got 4 forwards on the one unit, and then you've got, obviously, you know, the one-timers of Henricks and Harrington on the other unit. And, I mean, Dashiell's really heated up, and that kind of coincided with Hunter arriving, and it's just been, and I mean, you could talk about the guys that are not playing on the power play that are really, really good that would probably be on the power play in some other places in this league, but it's just one of those things. But those guys have been able to produce 5-on-5. I've been able to give some more penalty kill minutes to some of those guys to make up for the ice that they're not getting on the power play, and it's easy to maybe sit back and go, okay, well, I feel like I should be on the power play, but it's 31%, so I kind of can't really complain about it. So what else can I do to get more ice? And then they embrace the idea of killing penalties and blocking shots and doing those things. So, you know, it's been a fun team to coach, and I know we're going to blink and the season's going to be, you know, we're going to be wearing shorts and T-shirts to the rink again, which is funny to say today because it's as cold as it is. But that's how fast these last 20 games are going to go. And I just remind the guys of that on a daily basis. Like, you can't get complacent. You can't look forward. You can't look backward. You've got to be here every day and appreciate every day because it's going to be gone before you know it.
You're not wrong. You look at the calendar. It's that simple. 2 months from now, the regular season's over. So it's coming, but there's still a lot of hockey to be played. And you mentioned the depth of this team. To me, you cannot talk about the Lincoln Stars without talking about the depth, because as great as those top 3 lines have been recently, to win a game like you did last Friday, where all 3 forwards on your 4th line all score a goal, that just shows you how dangerous this team is right now.
Well, they're all really good players.
Yeah.
You know, and you look, whether it's, you know, Lefty, whether it's Jans, whether it's Kohanski. I mean, you know, Della's had his moments. Sandy's had his moments. Like, it's just everybody has been Darian had a good goal on Saturday, right? So it's not like those guys are just kind of extras. They're huge when it comes to the success of this team. And a lot of those guys are going to be the guys playing in those top 9 roles next year. And you know, they're going to have been through this playoff experience and run and you know, the culture that's built throughout the course of the year. And so then they can come right in and carry that into next season. So they've been hugely important for us. How about, you know, the goaltending? Obviously,
Absolutely.
everybody knew that Jan Shostak was as good as advertised. There was no question about that. We knew that before the Waterloo series last year, but he put everybody else in the league on notice with that Waterloo series. And William Prowse. I mean, William Prowse just goes in and wins games, and he gives you an opportunity to win every night. He stops pucks. He handles his rebounds. He's, you know, his growth and development has been really, really fun to watch. And, you know, we just talked about the forwards and the goaltending. Oh, by the way, we got a pretty good decor too. So, you know, it's a good team. It's a good team. I've seen good teams in this league not win championships. I've seen good teams in this league finish the job. And that's where it takes commitment. It takes sacrifice. It takes a little luck, right? And avoiding some injuries at the right time of year. And you know, all those things come into play. But again, the depth is where it helps us because, you know, you can bounce guys around. Cade played 4th line on Friday. He played 1st line on Saturday, and he's capable of both.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes him a special player. And you've seen Lefty do that. You've seen Janzi do that. You know, those guys are all capable of playing in different roles when they're needed to and still being very successful.
It's been fun to see guys swap on those roles. You mentioned Cade Kohanski in particular. Beginning of the season, you had him second line with Daniel Schlane, Dashiell Oliver. Like you said, now
playing his offside too, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, he's been a Swiss Army knife in a lot of ways here this season. Before we hit the break, I'm sure you've got thoughts on it. Super Bowl this past Sunday. Boring game, but what'd you think of it overall?
I just read as I was before I left the house that they must have thrown the script out that they were preparing to use after all the ref controversy. I'm joking, obviously, but not what I was expecting, but I'm also not surprised. If you really look at that Kansas City offense, it's not been great all year. And
their defense had been fantastic. That was surprising to see how it struggled.
It had, but they also they were on the field constantly because their offense wasn't sustaining any time of possession. So you know, you've got Mahomes running for his life essentially with the front four of the Eagles and their linebackers just in the backfield every play, it seemed like. And then the pick six and, you know, Saquon Barkley is pretty special. And so, yes, that defense was good, but they didn't get a blow all game long. They were 3 and out back on the field, 3 and out back on the field. And so I wasn't shocked to see the offense kind of be underwhelming for Kansas City. I didn't expect it to be anemic.
Yeah.
You know, the 2 touchdowns aside, the last throw that Mahomes made was unbelievable. He dropped it right in the bucket, but he didn't do that all game long. He didn't. And,
they did that in the first quarter.
They dropped some balls, right? They didn't look. They look like they shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl, which is what everybody probably thought is the reality of it.
Compared to the previous 2 years,
yes,
absolutely.
The Eagles were the better team, and they deserve to win. And I have a ton of respect for Andy Reid. Obviously, he's a Hall of Fame coach, and but Nick Sirianni and that staff was impressive. And you know, Jalen Hurts, what an impressive story to go from the college career he has to being, you know, sat in the national championship game. He has to transfer. Nobody thinks he's going to be a worthy NFL starter. Now he's a Super Bowl champion.
Should he have been Super Bowl MVP? I thought that was a heck of a case we made for Cooper DeJean, just with the timing of the pick six.
So the thing is I actually said to my wife before we go to bed, I want to see who the MVP is going to be, because I didn't think it was going to be him, but I also didn't think there wasn't an obvious choice. Like their defense as a whole was just really, really impressive to watch. If you're a football fan, watching them play defense as an 11-man unit was fun. But the sacks and the tackles for loss and all these things were coming all over the place. And yes, unbelievable pick, unbelievable moment for that young man. is that one pick enough to win MVP? I don't know. If he has 9 or 10 tackles on top of it and a forced fumble or something, sure. But I think that Jalen Hurts wins it probably because that was a complete team effort on both sides of the ball, special teams, the whole deal. I mean, their kicker was just drilling balls through the middle of the upright. So I don't think that there was a better option.
Could have just given it to Vic Fangio himself. That was the only other guy I thought of. Just give it to the defensive coordinator.
What's funny is I was just reading that in 23, what the Dolphins players essentially ran him out of Miami because they said he was too hard on them. And I laugh because, that's what players need. And that's truly what elite players want. Mm-hmm. They want you to push them out of their comfort zone. They want you to hold them accountable. They want you to create a disciplined environment. And if you're an elite player, you would love to play for somebody like Vic Fangio because he's trying to squeeze every last drop of your ability out every day. And I'll tell you right now, I think that those Eagles players are pretty happy that Vic Fangio is their defensive coordinator.
Oh, good for Nick Sirianni, given where he was a year ago too. Could have.
He was playing wide receiver at Mount Union when I was up there. Probably having some fun at those Miami Mount Union football games. My buddy went to school there, so we used to sneak up there on the weekends every once in a while. And they lived in a house. You could actually open the window of the house and see the football field. So I was at a couple of those games when he was playing.
That's funny. We'll always find a way to work Ohio and Pennsylvania into the show. For those who don't know, we will find a way to get those two involved in. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring on Ethan Weber and Jack Bakar as we continue with Outside the Box, chatting Lincoln Stars hockey on 93.7 The Ticket.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs, from opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, we brought on a former member of the Lincoln Stars earlier in Jimmy Jerson with a surprise call-in, but we're happy to bring on a couple of current members of the team, Ethan Weber and Jack Buckard, joining us. I'm Joel Norman, and this is Outside the Box as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket. Huge weekend coming up for the Stars with a home game on Friday night against the Sioux Falls Stampede. We sold out the Icebox last Friday for the first time since 2019. We need a big crowd on hand again this Friday. Puck drops at 7:05 between the top two teams in the Western Conference. Guys, happy to have you along here with us. Ethan, I want to start with you after the big weekend, defeating the Omaha Lancers both days, improving to 5-0 against Little Brother here this season. And Ethan, you had 2 goals back on Saturday for your first USHL multi-goal game. For people who've been watching closely, you've been doing a lot of stuff well this season. It had to feel nice, though, to have a game like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's nice for the process to go well, and Pex gave me a nice pass, so the least I could do was finish. But it was a good game.
Yeah, took care of business there on the road, Jack. What was that like seeing him get a couple?
Yeah, obviously love teammates having success, and it was nice for him to get to, and obviously everyone was having fun. So yeah.
Took care of business against the Lancers. Now we shift our focus to the team chasing us in the standings in Sioux Falls. 4 points back, so this is a huge weekend. In fact, 3 of our next 4 games are against Sioux Falls. So they're probably looking at this as, okay, here's our chance to make a move in the standings, where for us, this is the opportunity to try and hold pat and maybe even build up a little bit of ground on them. How are you guys approaching this weekend? I'll start with you, Ethan.
Yeah, I would say just one game at a time, one period at a time, 5 minutes at a time. Like, just take it step by step, because you can't win all 3 of them in one sitting. So,
and Jack, this has to be a exciting one for you guys after last weekend, where you kind of knew, hey, if we do the right things, we're going to win this game. Whereas with Sioux Falls, it's, hey, this could go either way.
Yeah, I think everyone's looking forward to it. Playing Omaha, it's kind of a little less. It's you don't really get as fired up. I mean, especially as a game like this where it's first versus second. And I think for us, we want to create some space in the standings, and I think everyone's just looking for that challenge.
Ethan, how do you guys switch your mentality for games like this, where weekend last week, again, it's Omaha. There is the fan rivalry, but again, on the ice, we know it's not as competitive as it has been in other years. Whereas this weekend, in a way, you guys are probably more excited for this matchup. How do you shift that focus week to week in a way that still brings the right energy necessary for that given opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I think we still motivate to play Omaha, like they're team in this league, so they're obviously really good. But playing the second best team, it's 1 versus 2 in our conference. So I think just knowing how important the points are, like everybody gets riled up for that and knows that they need to play their best.
Jack, it's been a while since we played Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
That would have been October the 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
Fifth game of the year?
Yeah, right up there.
Yeah.
Really early on. It was the only game of that weekend. Going to face them again this weekend. So in a lot of ways, I would imagine you're throwing out stuff from before.
is it nice to kind of have an unfamiliar opponent, which we've kind of had a few times in recent weeks? Dubuque is one, Cedar Rapids, these type of opponents where there isn't a whole lot. You can do your prep, and there will be a lot that you guys do, but this is the stretch where, hey, we haven't seen them on the ice. I don't know all their tendencies in a sense. Is that sometimes exciting, playing someone like that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just a fresh slate. You're not playing Omaha for the third time in 2 weeks. And, I think they've probably made a bunch of changes since we played them. I know we've brought in a bunch of new guys and we've lost some. So I think it's going to be exciting. And obviously 1 versus 2, everyone's going to be fired up for that.
Looking to extend the winning streak, sitting at 11 games right now, guys. Ronke's mentions it all the time. It's not something we're talking about, but it is something that is happening. For you guys who've been here, both of you, parts of the last 3 seasons, how fun is this stretch right now to be a Lincoln Star? Start with you, Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, like especially compared to last year where we went on an 11-game losing streak. I mean, it's just completely different, and it's a lot of fun riding that high, but at the same time, we need to stick to what's working.
Well, for you, Jack, what have you loved about the streak?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I think all the returners joke about kind of losing for a month and a half last year compared to, winning for the amount of time we have. And I mean, it's just been awesome. Everyone's having fun when we're having success, but we don't really look at the streak. We just take it, day by day, week by week, and game by game. And that's all you really can do.
Do you guys have a favorite win from the streak so far? Maybe it was on the road, maybe it was at home, maybe it was a blowout, maybe it was a close game. Has there been one game that you've really enjoyed the most from the streak?
I'd say Dubuque, just because they were in front of us and they came in our building and beat us. So I think I thought that was pretty exciting, especially on the road.
What about you, Jack?
Trying to think. I think the Cedar game sticks out a little bit because we went down 4-3 with like 6 minutes left in that third. And I mean, we got a quick one right after, but if we don't find a way to win that game, who knows what happens against Dubuque the next day or in Sioux City the following. So I think that was just a nice win to get to. Yeah.
Crazy weekend. It's 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since that. It's still like, I think I've looked back a few times. Like, I can't believe we won all 3 games, which is with all that travel involved, but the way the games went, when you look at Cedar Rapids and you figure, okay, of the 3 opponents, this is going to be a tough one. But we think we can start the weekend on the right foot. Ends up coming down to the last shot on net in the final seconds. Dubuque, in a lot of ways, over 5 minutes in. Not obviously how it ended up, but I mean, you guys took control 5 minutes in and never let go. Final day, both teams are dogging. That first period, there was a lot of, you could see frustration. You find a way in that one. What did that say about this group 2 weeks ago? Because it seems like all that did was fire you guys up even more heading into those games against Omaha.
Yeah. I mean, I think like what our team did really well in those 3 days, like we kind of just took it step by step and nobody was worried about the next play. Like we said, yeah, let's win this period. Let's win this game. And then we'll deal with tomorrow.
What about you, Jack?
I mean, especially winning all 3 of those on the road. And, we could have had a lot of excuses with, like driving 4 hours on Friday, 4 hours on Sunday to get to Sioux City. And then, those are all tough buildings to play in, coming in on the road. And yeah, just really proud of the group. And that's probably the biggest weekend of the year so far.
I'll ask you guys both this question and I'll ask another one kind of similar. What's the hardest thing about playing on the road and what is the best thing about playing on the road? I'll start with you, Ethan.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say the hardest one is just just on the bus for a while. Like you're not moving around for the most part. Like I'd say that's the hardest part, but I think the best part is just the reward about winning on the road. Like I think that's the most fun.
What for you, Jack?
I mean, yeah, I think you're just a little out of your comfort zone, going to someone else's rink where you'd never really play in. And, it can be tough playing in a different environment. Obviously the ice box is great, and then I think the best part is just, giving it to the fans when you score and when we win and you kind of feel like the enemy in those kind of environments. And I love that.
I was gonna say, seems like you guys have really enjoyed that this season, going on the road and, like you said, being that bad guy, spoiling the game in front of the visiting crowd in a lot of ways. We're gonna continue with Ethan and Jack with more in just a moment. We'll take a quick break though, and be back with more. It's Outside the Box, chatting Lincoln Stars hockey on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Opportunity can knock at any moment. When it does, you can't afford to miss a call. That's why you need a business phone system that gives your team the flexibility to answer anytime, anywhere. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, we make it easy to equip your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. We enhance the efficiency technology provides while putting people first in all we do. That's why we meet your business right where you are by offering customized office technology solutions that meet your specific needs. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one last time here on 93.7 The Ticket as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey on Outside the Box. I'm Joel Norman, joined by Stars defenseman Ethan Weber and forward Jack Bakar. We did have a text for our guest here, Harrison.
Yeah, over the break here, unknown texter 7036. Unfortunately, Rocky's not here, but for Ethan and Jack, what is the one thing you like about the fan base that you have at the Icebox? And plus, during road games, when they go ahead and follow the team?
I mean, I don't think there's enough good things to say about the fans that come watch us at the Icebox. I mean, it doesn't matter if, there's 1,000 fans there or if it's sold out, it's always going to be loud and it's always a really fun environment to play in front of. And I think we're all really thankful for the chance to play there.
Yeah, I agree. And also on the road, like our last game in Omaha, it seems like we had just as many fans in Omaha against Omaha as like Omaha fans. So that was fun. Like they were cheering for us when we'd score. So yeah, they travel well too. So it's nice.
I love when we can see the black and blue in the crowd on the road. And I mean, Griffin has that fight and he's urging the crowd to make more noise. And it's like, we're not in the Icebox right now, guys. We are not, but it's just as many fans. So
yeah, there was that one corner that was all blue and white, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, besides Omaha, I'm trying to think of what place do you think we usually see the most? Maybe Tri-City?
What about Sioux City? That was always, like, my area. We're going to watch hockey. We'd go up to Sioux City. We'd root for the Lincoln Stars at the Tyson Event Center, but I always wonder about that as well.
They get a fair amount.
I think so, yeah.
I think if it's, like, we had the Sunday game a few weeks ago. There were a few up there then, but that's a fun place for fans to go to as well.
Yeah, Tri-City, maybe a couple, but
maybe Des Moines, too.
There's not even
Des Moines, that's not a bad point. We do get a fair amount. You have to pay people basically go to a carny, right?
Yeah.
But so no, but it is always so fun to see the fans on the road, and that's something I always love asking them. Hey, are you coming to any games coming up? Because you just see it. It's funny the further east we go, how fewer there are, and usually the fans that are there when we go to the Eastern Conference games, it's usually guys like your players, like parents or something.
Yeah,
more often than not, people from Lincoln. But every once in a while we get those, so that'll be fun. Hopefully we can get some up in Sioux Falls. I know that's a little bit more of a trek, but for any Stars fans who have ever been wanting to do a road trip, that is a fun venue to go watch a game.
Yeah.
I mean, that place, they packed him last Saturday, 11,000 people there. That's going to be a fun place to play on Saturday. It is a different venue compared to a lot of other ones because it's quite literally the largest that we play at. Does that ever affect it for you guys, just the mood of a game? We talk about how some buildings have more energy than others at times. Is that one where it's like, boy, if that's filled up, it's right. But if not, it's a little different because it's such a big venue.
Yeah, definitely going up there, you feel like you're playing in the NHL with that sort of rink. And, when they put fans in seats and there's a great environment there. Yeah, it's hard not to get fired up, especially compared to, going to somewhere else where there's not that much energy like Tri-City or Sioux City. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think most of the times when we've played there, there's always been a good crowd. So it's fun to play in that building, and it's obviously really nice facilities. So.
Yeah, that game back in October, I'm trying to remember how many they had, but it was the home opener. And I think that was, at least since I've been here, probably you guys too, it's probably the largest crowd we had seen when going up to Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that made for a fun environment. But great crowd last Friday at the Icebox. We can't not talk about that with you guys before we get off here. How fun was that to play in front of a packed Icebox?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I think they're the best fans in the USHL. And, I mean, it was so loud there. I think the past two times Omaha's came, it's been like 3,800 and then, the sellout. So, I mean, yeah, we're really thankful for it.
And we need more fans even this Friday, right, Ethan? I mean, this is an even bigger game.
Even bigger.
Yeah. Friday was a lot of fun. And like even from the bench, like I noticed they did the wave. That was pretty fun. Yeah. That was cool.
I was trying to think if we had seen that happen before in the last few seasons, but boy, that was fun to see the way the crowd got into it. Real quickly, before we get off the air here, guys, Ethan, tell fans about your unique situation here in Lincoln, how you have your family here living. I know I've asked you about this a million times, but for the fans who aren't aware, how tell us about how this has kind of become home for you, quite literally.
Yeah. Well, so last year I had billets in Lincoln, and over the summer, my parents were thinking about moving here, and I have a sister who's in college, so they're kind of empty nesters at home. So over the summer, they decided to get a house in Lincoln. And at main camp, I was talking to Pex about his billet situation, and it ended up being like he didn't have one. So we offered to billet him, and yeah, so we have the house here, and we billet Jack Picard, and it's been great. So
how's that been for you, Jack? It's got to be fun having, that kind of the whole family feel, in a sense, jumping right into that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. They've taken awesome care of me and Weber, and yeah, I couldn't be more thankful for them because, obviously, living with Eric, he wasn't able to billet this year, which kind of sucks, but, living in another great spot with the Webers. So, yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Billet family is a huge part of the Lincoln Stars. If you're interested about them, please give us an email, housing@lincolnstars.com. Got an empty room in your house. Great way to have a hockey player with you for the season. Looks like, do we have a text on the line here?
Yeah,
Harrison?
I want to get this one before we get out of here because it has been kind of one of those years where it feels like Stars fan base just keeps them bigger. This one from Jeremy said, love this team and the energy you guys bring and the team every night, even if it's a win or a lose. So shout out, Jeremy. Appreciate you guys listening. Joel, I want to get out there before we get out of here.
No, I appreciate that. Like we said, fan support unreal this season. Looking forward to seeing everyone on Friday night when the Stars take on the Sioux Falls Stampede at 7 at the Icebox. If you can't make it, you can tune in right here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, and this has been Outside the Box.